Welcome to the Northeast Kingdom Voice. Today's guests are three women who take part in a very unique sport. I will let them introduce themselves and I will let them explain the sport. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Scott.
And you are?
I'm Lynn Tangway. I'm the owner of Breathe Fitness in Derby, Vermont. And I was fortunate enough to work with these two ladies and get them ready for their competitions. Paula is a figure competitor and Anne is a bikini competitor.
So that's, when you think of bikinis, you think of the beach. Is there more to than just throwing on a bikini?
Way more. These girls had extensive training and nutrition and stage walk, how to walk in 5-inch high heels. The suits themselves, they're about $300 to $400 for something you wear for how many hours?
About 6 hours
Yeah,
total.
custom made.
So-
Custom made to have the smallest little piece of fabric you've ever had.
I was going
on
to
your
say,
body.
that's a lot of money for that little teeny piece of cloth.
Yes,
is.
it was.
So it's months and months of prepping physically and mentally. Mentally, I think was probably the hardest for you ladies.
Yeah.
It's to get up in front of 500 to 600 people and be judged, because you're being judged, not on your personality, not on what you do for a living, not on who you know. It is all just judged on your body, which is it's a hard sport. And so what I try to encourage these girls and anyone else that I work with is it's not a competition with others, it's a competition within yourself. So to be very proud of everything they've accomplished, and the day of the competition is like icing on the cake. That's their time to shine and to show everybody what they had to do to get to that point.
Now, we talked beforehand. This is not body building. This is body sculpting.
It is. Bodybuilding is it's a declining area of the sports that we're doing because it's almost intangible. It's the amount of work that we had to do just to sculpt the body. It's a much more feminine look, which I'm interested in, and as these girls are, it's to be be a mom, be a business owner, and be a woman and be proud of it, and be able to get up and show people that it's possible.
From a person who knows nothing about bodybuilding, when I think of it, I somehow link it to steroids. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's that prevalent. Now, in your field, is there any cheating like that?
There is. I have. There's so many different divisions and federations with figure and bikini. I always have competed in NPC, which is the National Physique Committee, and that's what these girls did last weekend in Burlington. I recently, same weekend, we couldn't be together. I was competing in Cape Cod with the OCB, which is another federation that has required drug testing, which was a lie detector test. It wasn't like I thought it'd be just having a urine test, and it was actually having a lie detector test done. So I knew I was competing with all natural body sculptors, because I do everything through nutrition, proper sleep, and with lifting, weightlifting and cardio. And so there's no drugs involved in what we do.
My name's Paula Brennan, and I am a massage therapist. Have been a very strong runner. I've run several marathons, half marathons, done Tough Mudder, Spartan Beast, and this was just another thing to cross off my bucket list.
So how long have you
so
been
to
doing
speak.
this?
The bodybuilding or the running?
The bodybuilding.
This, I've always lifted weights, but not to this degree, just enough to maintain. This is definitely something that you have to commit to. It's, a different body part every day, as well as incorporating your cardio and not overdoing the cardio, because you don't want to destroy the muscle that you've built.
Do you learn a lot from Lynn?
Oh, definitely. And she is our biggest ally. When I felt like I was not going to do it, that I was not ready, that I could not do it, I would go and she'd give me a pep talk, and I'd leave there pumped up and ready to do it again.
Right. Now, how did it feel the first time you went out there? Because you're not wearing very much, and everybody's looking at you.
It was so overwhelming. My legs were shaking so bad I could hardly hold the pose. But I looked at all the other girls and I watched them as they're posing, and they've done shows before and they were shaking. So it's an involuntary thing, I think, the reaction.
You know what I found with public speaking too is if you're not a little bit nervous, I think sometimes you actually do worse because you got to have that little edge. Is that true, Lynn, in this sport?
It's so true. Jumping on stage this time around was my 5th time, and every time I sit back, I'm like, oh, you got this. This is old school. You've done this so many times, but it doesn't matter. Every time you jump out on that stage, oh, it's just it's my job. That's what they're there to see. But I still have nerves and I still shake too. and you don't take that deep calming breath and it's just that pep talk, and you can do this. The first time out's always the worst. And then, we have chances to go back out. And then after that, it's smooth sailing. But I don't think it ever gets to the point where it's comfortable.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Anne Dufresne, and I'm a cosmetologist, and I have my own salon in Irisburg. And this has just been a dream of mine since I was 15 years old, and finally I was able to get on stage 15 years later. And
2 kids.
And 2 babies later. And I've always struggled with, self-image, and I never could relate myself to, I'm 4'11", 4 foot 11 inches tall, so I've always really struggled with my height, and I've been an athlete my whole life. But once you have children and you're busy, it's like what's left. You don't have a soccer game to go to after school. You don't have, your basketball practice to keep you fit or whatever it may be. So you have to find individual sports. I play softball in a women's league, but really it's an hour and a half, 2 nights a week. It's not too much physical activity. So you just try to find another passion. And I bike ride and I hike and run, and then you have children, and you have to incorporate your children into everything that you do, because you don't want to be selfish. You want to make it a family thing. So that's what I started doing. My daughter Reese, she's 5, and my son is just turned 4, and they love to be outdoors, thank goodness. And we, during the winter time, it's cold out and you don't want to do anything, but you just bundle up and put your clothes on, and we go sliding down the hill, and I'll, run up the hill with 75 pounds of them behind me running up the hill. And you just find many various ways to keep active and stay busy. And being on stage was, I don't know.
Now, how long have you been doing it?
I've always been very physically active for years, but I guess I started, like Abby Willis actually was my inspiration. She was one of Lynn's clients as well, and she was a friend of mine, and she did this show last year. And to see somebody so close to me.
So this is your first year?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Both of them.
Oh, both of you.
Timers.
Yeah.
So you're all three of you are mothers?
Yes.
Yes.
And so it is hard, from a father's perspective, who my kids are grown, it is hard to, when you're raising your kids, to find the time for yourself, because, I just remember saying that we didn't need a house when they were growing up, because we'd go to either the dance, dance to soccer, to baseball or something. You just needed a camper.
That's right.
That's all you needed. So you had to find time. So let's go back to you, Lynn, and here's a photo of you. So not bad for how many children have you
I only
had?
have one. I have a little boy. He's 3 years old, and not bad.
Have you
I'm
ever
actually
been
in
out of-
better shape here. since I've had him than before.
Right.
And I think it's because I had something to prove to myself, and I have a platform to speak about fitness, and my whole thing is anything is possible. I believe that 100%, and that's what I'm here for, is to take people and show them that that's possible, and no matter what crazy thing it may be. And to see these girls reach their goal and be so excited about it, because we did go through those times of, I can't do this, Lynn, there's no way. And I never want to push someone to the point where they're not comfortable, but you have to go outside your comfort zone to build as a person and be who you want to be. You have to get past that comfort zone.
No, I was a runner for years, and I grew up during the period of time, and I still believe no pain, no gain. Is that real? Is that true or not?
No. It's consistency is the key to everything. Planning, execution, and consistency. And that's what I help people with, is no matter how busy you are or what your obstacles may be, we work together as a team to make that incorporate into your life, not my life, because it's not about me, it's about you. So being a busy mom, after having CJ, it was 3 years of struggling, of really trying to find who I was, and I didn't expect that being a mom. No one really tells you about that. And so for me to be able to, I'm up at 5 every morning in that gym, and he doesn't even know I'm not there. So nothing's taken away from him. So, and he comes in the gym with me, he has his own little dumbbell sets, and he knows more information than most kids do because he's exposed to it all the time. And I just felt I had such a struggle, and I really wanted to help everybody. That's my job.
Have you ever been a couch potato, or have you ever
Yes.
been really out of shape?
I really have been. I didn't find fitness till I was in my 30s, like 30th birthday. Kind of that was that defining moment. Before that, I was a party girl. I was all about a good time and eating and
Doing the
drinking
16-ounce
and-
curls.
Absolutely. I really, and it's one of those things that saved me. It really saved me. It made me who I was, and it was time to grow up, and it was time to get healthy. And
Was there a defining moment? Like, did you have, because sometimes there's a loss in your family or
Yes,
something
yes.
that says, okay, I'm not going to
Yes.
be here forever.
Yep, it was the death of my dad. Definitely was the defining moment, and I was a train wreck for quite a while after that. And then it was like, okay, it's time to brush yourself off and make them proud, and that's what saved me. Not because it was the whole partying and I turned to fitness, and that became my passion.
Right. Yeah. In talking to real fitness people, it does seem to, like with Sharon Stewart, it is her. That's
what defines. her.
what defines you, and that seems to be the case. But on the other hand, you also like to lead these people forward into a world of fitness as well.
Absolutely.
Do you work with
do.
Does everybody have to look like this?
No, absolutely not. These girls were the exception, and it was so much fun for me to work with Paula. Paula is a personal trainer. I mean, she is so educated, and Anne's always been a fitness, in her own right. She had all kinds of ideas of, well, can I do this? Can I do that? Can I do this? and to me, to work with them, it was a pleasure because it wasn't really work. I was more their support. They would just come to me on a monthly basis, and we would do what they were going to do for the month, for workouts, for their nutrition, and then they would go on their merry way and do their stuff. And that's the first time I've had an experience with people that they have the passion in themselves. And as the closer we got to the show, within a month or so, they were coming every week, and that's when we had to do all the posing practice, and we had to get them comfortable, because it is a shock. No matter what I do to train them to get out there, it's always a shock. And so it was just amazing to work with them. But my demographics are all over the place, because I do love working with I have 18-year-olds to 74-year-olds, and I have fit people to very obese people, and I don't have a demographic. I kind of want to help everyone.
So do you enjoy the challenge?
I do.
Right. Okay, here the two of you are. Now, did they look like that when they came to you?
Close.
Close.
It was close. And as a trainer and doing this, it's very hard for me to gauge how they're going to look at the end.
Right.
I mean, this was 3 months. They came to see me 3-4 months before the show ever happened, and they were fit, not fit like that.
Okay, now the two of you. Where was this photo taken?
That was backstage. We were out back waiting for our category to go on stage, so we figured it would be good to take a shot.
Now, where was it though?
At South Burlington High School.
Oh, South Burlington. And so, are you pretty when you look at that photo? Even though you look at yourself in the mirror, are you pretty impressed?
Hell yeah. Can I say that on TV?
Yeah, sure. I don't know how old, I can't, now that I'm 50, I find that I have no judge in age. Like, I would have said you were like 28,
You're
Lynn.
so sweet.
And
You're my new best friend.
I have no idea how old everybody is. Do you want to share it?
I'll be 46 on Saturday.
So 46, and so you're on. You mean I could look like that? Just the male version?
Absolutely.
So did you ever envision then, when you were younger, that you could look like that at your age?
No, I've always wanted to tackle it, but didn't think that it was anywhere within my grasp. But it definitely, it paid off.
And I'm 30. I just turned 30 in September. And I thought, when you're 18, you're kind of in your prime. And I thought it only goes downhill from there. But I've realized with the proper nutrition, and I would say diet is absolutely not just 80%, but 100% of the way you look. Exercise is, about 20%. And when you choose a healthy living style and try to not eat anything out of a box, and your body will change. Absolutely. Mind over matter, and just being able to say no. I mean, it's definitely possible.
I'll tell you, when I was 30, I used to think there could not be life at 50. And now that I'm 50,
I know.
It's great.
Isn't it
And
wonderful?
do you know, I have, because I record history, I have people in their 90s who are, they might not be like you, but on the other hand, they're in amazing shape because, and a lot of them, not all of them, have really focused on somehow taking care of themselves. Of course, I had two guys here a couple of weeks ago. They were World War II veterans. They said that the secret is starting your day with a little bit of scotch. So I don't know if you guys start your day with scotch or
We should
not.
start trying that.
Start that.
But that was one of their keys to success. So, but do you have fun doing this, all three of you?
Absolutely.
I had a blast.
Yeah.
It was.
So it isn't all work.
It isn't, and the key, again, is consistency. These girls did not work out hours and hours every day. It
No.
was an hour. Was it about an hour?
Depending on what I did for
Depending.
cardio, hour to an hour and a half. Yeah.
That's it. And 5 days a week. 5,
6.
6.
Mine was kind of scattered because of the two babies. Some days, if I had 20 minutes, I would have 20 minutes and do HIIT training. And then the next day, if I had an hour and a half, I'd try to do an hour and a half. It was for me personally, it was kind of inconsistent,
Right.
but I tried to stay consistent and make up, the next day where I could, and try to get as much as, not lollygag in that hour. If you're like, I only have an hour, you put as much in that hour as you possibly can, and then it's done, it's over,
Now,
Yeah.
I do like a half hour, but mostly 45 minutes, 5 days a week, insanity and all that stuff. Is that okay though?
yeah.
Because I don't want to be I don't want to look like I have no interest in the work that would go to look like the male version of you, because I know there's a lot of work that goes into it. But at 50, I think I feel pretty darn good.
And that's what it's about, Scott, is how you feel inside.
Yep.
And this is all very judgmental.
Right.
We're going up in front of judges that we don't know. They know nothing about us. They have no idea that we're moms and we have businesses and we're running around like mad women. They don't care. So for me, it's to feel good about yourself. That's the key to
Let me put it this
being
way.
healthy.
True happiness is
Yeah.
being happy
You're not
inside.
You're not going to
Yeah.
see me walking out on stage in a Speedo.
Oh, come on.
No.
We'll even bedazzle it for you.
But I do feel good though, but not good enough to walk out on with a Speedo. What is the one activity that has gotten a really bad rap is beauty pageants.
Mm-hmm.
There's no real correlation between what they do and what you do.
It's no, because in a sense it is, because you are being judged on your looks, your stage presence, and the total package. And so, but there's no talking. We're not asked any questions. We don't have an evening gown division. It's very about the body. You're just being judged solely on your symmetrics, the muscle tone for us, and as bikini, the firmness and the leanness is what they're being judged on. And so I guess if you wanted to, I wouldn't want to compare it to a beauty pageant, but it might be like Barbie pumped up a little bit. I've actually had to tell people, like, describe it that way, because every person, and as we talked, Scott, you were like, oh, bodybuilding, it's not bodybuilding, it's body sculpting. And all we do is we take our bodies and you try to define it to the best possible person you can be. And that's the one thing I told these girls before they jumped on that stage: do not look at those other girls and compare yourself, because this is not what this is about. It's a journey about you and only you and how far you've come. So when you go there and you see all these other girls and you're like, oh, I don't look like that, or oh, look at how thin she is, or look at her muscles. No, absolutely not. You remember the person you were the day you decided to do this, and then you look at yourself the day you jump on that stage, and then you be really proud of what you've done.
It seems to me there must be some egos involved in this.
I think there is. Absolutely. Not with anything I've done, not with any of the girls I've ever worked with, but it is competitive. It's there's money to be made. There's sponsors to have. Once you're a sponsored athlete, then you have pretty much your whole ride paid for. I'm a mom. I'm 41 years old. I'm not going out there to get sponsors. I'm going out to make myself feel the best I can possibly be and go outside my comfort zone. And that's what this was for, I think, myself and for you girls, is to really step outside that comfort zone, because that's how you grow as a person.
We have about another 8 minutes left. What more would you like to say?
I would love to have the girls explain what the process was to getting ready.
Let's start with, you have to get a professional spray tan. And if you have any modesty whatsoever, you will have none after having the spray tan. They have these open tents, and they're set up in a line, and you're naked in the tent. And they just put 4 to 5 coats of this spray tan on you. You literally have to bend over at odd angles so they can get all areas. And then you put your suit on the next day, and you have to glue it down, because you wouldn't want it to be going up where it shouldn't go when you're walking across the stage. So you literally have to glue it down so that when you're posing, it stays where it's supposed to be.
That seems like a lot of fun.
Oh, yes. And then the makeup, and then the hair. And I started getting ready, and I know you girls was about 7 o'clock the morning.
Oh, it was 5:30 in the morning.
5:30. And then you're not jumping on stage. You have a pre-judging, which is you can have a crowd. Sometimes my show this time, the crowd was huge for the pre-show. And that's where all the judging happens. That's when you're compared to all the other girls. You get up on stage, you do pose downs, and then you have to go off stage, and you don't come back till 6 or 7 at night for a night show, and that's when all the awards are given. So you're looking like this you're in that suit all day. And then when you get back to the night show, it's, showtime. Let's more makeup, more hairspray, more. You have a glaze that you put on you before you jump out there, and then you get your 5-inch heels, and it's not glamorous. and it's funny because it looks glamorous, and it is not at all. I took a shower this time, and I was dirtier than I was after doing a Tough Mudder.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, ew, get me in the shower. Just so much stuff. It's so much I have a hard time with that because I'm a very natural person. So to me, I have an alter ego named Lola that comes out for the shows. It's Lola. It's not. I'm a yoga pant and ball. I wear baseball hats, no makeup, and that's how I'm comfortable. And so to do the show is very uncomfortable for me. And so I bring Lola out, and she takes care of all of that for me.
Okay, what about how do you deal with all this?
Getting up on stage.
Yeah,
as
getting
you
up
would-
on stage,
or-
all the preparation as she outlined.
It was actually kind of fun for me because, of course, I'm in the cosmetology profession. So,
Way more girly girl.
so I mean, I'm a perfect blend. I feel like I love wearing heels and makeup, but at the same time, I am totally a four-wheeler snowmobile girl, throwing baseballs, and so I've had a hard time actually balancing the two because I feel like when I go in public, sometimes I'm wearing a ball cap and yoga pants, and somebody sees me, like one of my clients, they're like, "Oh my goodness." Or say they have a friend with them, they're like, "Yeah, that's my hairdresser," and I look like a mess. They're like, "You go to her." So sometimes I struggle with, do I always have to play the part as a hairdresser? So a lot of times I feel like I always have to do my hair and makeup before I go out, and that's what stinks because the old Ann Dufresne, I'm a country bumpkin, I'm a country girl, and so it is fun on stage getting, your makeup and hair, but at the same time, people think you're ditzy or that's all you care about is your looks, and it's not at all. It's just sometimes you can be passionate about something, but it's not all of you.
So do most of the other people have lives just like yours, as in just leading them differently, or do you have professional people within this field who this is all they prepare for?
Yes, it's just like any sport. You have the top of the line. And they're out there to win it. There's huge money and sponsorships on the line. But for me and the people that I compete with, they all have lives. This is just it's a hobby. It's something to keep them fit and to keep you accountable, and you get a little bit of a reward after. It's getting up there and showing everyone each year how much you've grown. And that's all I think it's about.
Okay, if somebody wants to learn more about what you have to offer, do you have a website?
I sure do.
And
I do. It's justbreathevermont.com is my website. And then my email address is breathefitnessvt@gmail.com. And I also have my Facebook page under Breathe Fitness. And so this is just a little spectrum of what I do. I usually, and it was such a pleasure. It's so fun to work with different types of people for me. And so I kind of, from 18 to 70 something, if it's just nutrition you need help with, I'm a specialist in that. I'm also licensed as a certified personal trainer. And I too love mountain biking, and I have classes of mountain biking and trail running. I do a lot of outdoor activities come summertime, now that we've been in that horrible winter.
okay, the final words for the two of you.
Anything is possible.
That is right. And that is my motto.
Yes, anything is possible.
Okay, well, any final words for you two, since
I just wanted to thank you, Scott, for taking the time, and letting me to come on your show, and letting Paula and Ann just explain their experience. And it's a very powerful story for both of them, and I really wanted them to have that experience of sharing. And if they've inspired others, that's what this is about. It's always about paying it forward and letting people know they're not by themselves, and anything is possible. You just got to believe.
okay, thank you to the three of you for
Thank
coming
you.
on.
Thank you,
you.
Scott.
And thank you to the viewers for tuning in to another segment of the Northeast Kingdom Voice.